80 चल रहा है भाई।
नहीं नहीं, आज तो हम सेलिब्रेट करेंगे वर्ल्ड हार्ट डे।
अगला दिन कब हुआ पता ही नहीं चला।
नहीं नहीं, अभी अभी तो आपको पता चल जाएगा क्योंकि वी हैड आवर हार्ट्स रेसिंग yesterday and today we are celebrating the world heart day with the aim to raise awareness of the risks
मैं
associated.
रहना चाहता हूँ 28।
अरे नहीं, बट
आई वॉन्ट टू
इससे
स्टे on 28th of September.
but more than that, you want to stay heart healthy. That's what you should say, because
Right.
it's a day to actually encourage everybody to adopt healthy lifestyles. And अगर हम lifestyle की बात करें, we are living in a fast-paced world, and the World Heart Day आज का जो theme है इस साल का is called "Don't Miss a Beat," and it's so important to keep ourselves, our people around, the loved ones around us, happy and heart healthy. And to have more details, we've got a doctor joining us. Who is the doctor? Do we have the doctor online, Vivek?
Yes, Dr. Yogeeswari Satyanarayanan हमारे साथ है, specialist cardiologist in the Department of Cardiology at Medcare Royal Specialty Hospital, Qusais. Dr. Yogeeswari, a pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Yogeshwari.
Lovely morning, actually, Nikita. I'm going to talk only to Nikita because I think Vivek is quite stuck with the 28th.
I am
Celebrating
still,
all the cricket and
yeah,
stuff.
yesterday. I want to relive that day again.
His heart is still racing in a positive way.
Yeah.
You have to live every day, but you're stuck.
आपकी आवाज थोड़ी सी ब्रेक हो रही है डॉक्टर योगेश्वरी, बट यस, वर्ल्ड हार्ट डे पे वी वुड लव टू नो एवरीथिंग दैट कंसर्न्स आवर हार्ट, एंड इफ यू कुड गिव अस सम मोर डिटेल्स ऑन दिस, especially why is world heart day celebrated on this day?
Yeah, I think, September 29th, this year especially, it's going to be very, very special because it marks the 25th anniversary of a global movement which kind of dedicated to saving lives and hearts. It was originally created by the World Heart Federation in 2000, and over this 25 years, it's literally come a long way. And the idea is pretty much simple, but yet powerful. You just have to remind every single person that heart health is not a luxury, it's a right, and by protecting our hearts, we are protecting our future. So that is all it's intended to celebrate about. Yeah.
So, Dr. Yogeshwari, it's always said that we have to take care of our hearts, but it's always a silent call, right? So, how do you understand when you should get a check done?
I think I would like to bring in few statistics in here actually, because if you see globally, there are around 20 million people who are suffering from heart diseases, and if you see 4 out of 5, that is 80% of the heart diseases and strokes can be prevented if they are identified and intervened timely. So now when we intervene in a timely way, we can save them. How do you go about finding it out in the first place? So it's not something very big. Considering the fact that we have a lot of rising pressures of the modern life, a lot of sedentary life, processed foods, all of these things are going to make our heart even more vulnerable. Now, for people, if you see, actually, the heart diseases begin, to start developing even as early as the second decade of life. Now, those who have risk factors, like for example, if they have a family history of losing someone to heart disease or stroke, or if they themselves have any diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things, it's important that they have their heart screened even if they don't have any symptoms. And it'll be very late by the time you identify your heart disease when symptoms strike. So it's very important that you know what risk factors are there around you, and accordingly you get yourself screened, even if you're not symptomatic. Yeah.
And what are the lifestyle changes that you can recommend, doctor? Because a lot of people, especially in social media, भी बहुत सारा rage हो गया है, in the sense कि all the influencers, people who are in the fitness, they've been quite healthy, and suddenly you can see that there have been issues where they've had heart issues and lost lives. So where do we have a check done, and how do we assess ourselves?
I think it's never, very rarely it happens suddenly, and most of the times our body really tries to give us some hint, some clue, and the issue happens when we don't listen to our body. So it's important that you listen to what your body is saying. For example, even if somebody who is having a very healthy lifestyle and everything, your body would be telling that probably you're feeling tired, doing the same physical activity that you're comfortably doing sometime earlier. That also tells you that your body is trying to say something and you have to listen to it. So some people do continue to do things even if your body tries to say something. That is when people land up in acute cardiac events, sudden deaths, people who are gym goers and all of those things. The other thing is that I think people who have risk factors, who have a family history, it's important that they screen their heart before they enroll themselves into high intensity training programs or competitive sports or anything like that. So that gives us more assurance and confidence that they may not succumb to any acute cardiac event when they go on for gym. And as far as prevention is concerned, we've been saying this for a long, long time. A very good diet. When you say diet, in fact, 2 meals a day is more than enough. But it's important what kind of meal, what kind of food that you choose for the diet. And you probably have to have a portion control meal. When we say that, you have a bit of complex carbohydrates, more proteins, fruits, vegetables. So all these are very important, and it has to be incorporated into every meal plan that you do. And coming to physical activity, yes, please move your butts. And this World Heart Day, the World Heart Federation has told that you spend 25 minutes of physical activity per day, 25 days a month. That's more than enough to get you going. And of course, if you're a smoker, nothing worse than that, because even if you don't have any other risk factors, smoking alone is enough to kill you. So if you're a smoker, please take the decision to quit smoking right now, not even today, right now. And so I think by bringing about all of these small changes, we can go a long way in protecting our hearts. Yeah.
So to all those people who fear going to a cardiologist, doctor, what can you suggest to those patients who are, wanting to visit, but they are, just preventing themselves because they feel that there could be more medications coming their way, or probably they could be asked for a surgery, God forbid. So any sort of, a myth that you'd like to bust here, and you could share the reasons why people should actually go and visit a cardiologist?
I think it's a very good question, because even in surrounded by a lot of healthcare people around me, people still hesitate to come to get themselves screened, fearing that they might get diagnosed with something, and then eventually, they might end up taking medications, or they may have to go for procedures and stuff. But beyond all these things, as much as I told you, 80% of the disease of strokes and cardiovascular diseases are preventable if intervened early. And that calls for a regular screening, especially if you are having risk factors surrounding you, which can predispose you to having cardiovascular diseases. So I think that should definitely not be there. You have to choose the right kind of doctor to go to make sure that you get screened in the right way. So I think that's clearly a myth, and it should definitely not be there. Especially all the more reason when you have risk factors surrounding you.
So how should a person respond to some sort of a symptom that they may receive or may see somebody else that they know of receiving, for example, chest pain that they would get, or a sudden collapse that they find around people? What is the first response that you need to do, and can you give us certain steps that we should be aware of, doctor?
So basically, when it comes to heart, a small tip is that if you stay physically active, you can identify your heart-related symptoms much, much earlier. Now, for example, I would say you walk regularly, for example, 4 kilometers in half an hour or 45 minutes. And you're comfortable doing that. But now, for whatever reason, in the last 1 or 2 weeks, if you feel that you're not comfortable, you're feeling tired, you're feeling, not so very great how you used to feel before, that is also an important symptom of heart disease. Now, to put it in a nutshell, anything that is brought about on effort and that gets better on rest. For example, some people might experience only shoulder pain. Some people, in fact, they might even have gastric symptoms. But if you see, when they walk, the gastric symptoms will worsen. If that happens, it is clearly heart. On the other hand, if it's due to the gastric issue, when you walk, actually your symptoms will tend to get better. So basically, any exertional or effort-related onset of new symptoms, or exertional or effort-related worsening of the existing symptoms, are important clues for people to identify that they might be suffering from a heart disease. Yes.
राइट डॉक्टर योगेश्वरी, हम सब ना खुद ही डॉक्टर है, हम गूगल पे ढूंढते हैं बहुत सारी चीज़ें, यूट्यूब पे हम वीडियोस देखते हैं. वीरेंद्र का एक मैसेज आया है, वो भी खुद डॉक्टर बनना चाहते हैं. वो पूछ रहे हैं कि प्लीज़ आस्क डॉक्टर योगेश्वरी वेयर कैन वी गेट सर्टिफाइड CPR ट्रेनिंग. नहीं, बड़ा जेन्युइन क्वेश्चन है, मैं तो ऐसे ही लिंक कर रहा हूँ.
बट वेरी वेरी वैलिड.
या CPR ट्रेनिंग, आई थिंक वी शुड ऑल नो, थोड़ी बहुत जानकारी हमें होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज एनीबडी हु सफरिंग फ्रॉम एनी सडन हार्ट अटैक, वी शुड बी एबल टू try to at least, anybody who's suffering from any sudden heart attack, we should be able to try to at least revive, or leave it to the experts. Your thoughts?
No, I think it's a lovely question. In fact, our hospital is also working on it for quite some time. If you see in the European countries, United States, UK and all, every lay person can do CPR. They're equipped and they're trained to do CPR. I think it's very important that we train all our young lads. The education should begin even from school kids, actually from high school kids, wherein they are trained to do CPR. Actually, not just kids. I think everybody should be, able to do CPR, because when you see a person collapsing outside, simple chest compression, if done in the right way, can save the life. Actually, so I think it's important that government also probably takes in efforts to make this as a policy, wherein in the places of work or in schools, that this is imparted as, a part of their compulsory education or training. So I think that way it can make a huge difference. Yes, our hospital does provide training through trained experts here. So if you would like to know about it, definitely we can connect, Mr. Vivek. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Yogeeswari. It was wonderful to talk to you and for spreading the awareness and enlightening us on keeping our heart healthy. You have a good day, doctor, and we'll hope to speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I think don't miss a beat is not just a beat in the rhythm. It's a call to action, and it's a reminder, it's a promise, and I think together we all can build a world with fewer lives being lost and make sure that we keep the hearts beating stronger, stronger, and stronger. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, doctor.
सो वीरेंद्र का ये जो सवाल था, हाउ कैन वी गेट, एंड आई थिंक कोई भी हॉस्पिटल के डॉक्टर से आप एक बार पूछ सकते हैं, या फिर उनके कॉल सेंटर पे फोन करके जानकारी ले सकते हैं. आई एम श्योर they are happy to help you with this.
So there are a lot of health awareness programs also that hospitals and clinics run, Virendra. तो उनके जो websites हैं आप जाके देखिएगा, and you can definitely get more details. Also American Heart Association जो है AMA, they also have certifications for CPR, so for CPR training that you can get with clinics and hospitals across the UAE.